Okay, so now we really get to the sonnet work. All right, again, I'm working with Sonnet 61, but it's possible that during this demonstration, I might work on a different sonnet just because I don't want to give you line readings or imply that you should work on it in only this way. So I might try Sonnet 65 if you want to look at that one. But to start off with, let's go with what we know. So I have taken Sonnet 61 and I have written it out for myself. I have made a difference between the operative words and the little big words. So writing this out is the first really good step towards memorization, at least in my opinion. So if you haven't written your sonnet out on paper, or honestly, I guess you could type it out on the computer, but I think actually committing it to paper that you can hold and carry around with you is very helpful. So that's the first step, is write this out. Okay, so now that I've got it on paper, I'm going to explore the vowels, and then I'm going to explore the consonants. And I'm going to do this up on my feet, which is why I have this video set up here in the first place. The room isn't clean, but what are you going to do? So follow along with me. I'm going to explore the vowels. Oops, I'm going to fix the camera first. Woo! All right, I'm going to explore the vowels and the consonants on their own. So I have the whole thing. I don't have the consonants separated or the vowels separated, but I'm going to just, use my own understanding and knowledge to figure that out as I go. So extending and feeling those vowels. I, 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 o, I, u, I, I, o, I, o, I, u, I, e, o, o, u, I, ow, ow, e, o, e. So that's only about 8 lines through, but you get the idea. So basically, I explored the vowels within the context of the word, but I was keeping the meaning in the back of my mind. So it helps to do this on a piece of paper or with the full sonnet in front of you. Now I'm just going to try the same exact thing with consonants, okay? I'll do the next lines. So there's 6 more I'll do through the end. This, if you're following along, this goes along with, oh no, thy love though much is not so great. All right. Much, snuts, girt, the manangi, wuk, manon, trul, the dismarist, defit, to pull the witchman never for the witch whilst the just what else wore from me fur with there's old snur. So exploring the consonants, it's really helpful to lean into the fricatives, make them really buzz, extend them. The nasals, you can continue through those and just carry them out, the M's and the N's and the NGs. And then really pop the plosives. So the K's and the T's and the P's and the B's and the D's and the G's, just pop those plosives. Just so you can really feel what that feels like to express it in that way. So now that you've done vowels and consonants, it's time to switch into the image work. But instead of being, laying down or sitting in a chair and doing this, I'm going to just explore some random ones on my own. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take an image word, and then I'm going to see if I can think of another way to say it. It's almost like paraphrasing the word or just describing what I see in my mind. So I'm going to start again just with the first 3 couplets. And you can do the whole thing, and I actually encourage you to do the whole thing, but follow along with me. So I'm going to take those operative image words. In this first couplet, I have will, image, keep, open, heavy, eyelids, weary, night. Now, any of those words or none of them could be things that you choose to focus on, but these are the ones that have the most clear image that you can bring up in your mind in some way. So I'm going to take the word keep, keep, hold, keep open, hold open. I get this strong sense of like keeping the eyes open. All right, the image in my mind, the particular personal vision that I have of keep open, and I'm talking about my heavy eyelids. So I'm just thinking of like taking, of keeping, of holding open. Heavy eyelids. I mean, that one for me is clear. I don't need to describe it. Weary night. Well, I can say weary night, but I mean, long night, endless night, just night that goes on forever. Night in which I'm exhausted, but I can't fall asleep. Weary night. Just explore the image of that word for yourself. Make it personal and particular. Second couplet, I have words like desire, slumbers, broken, shadows, like to thee. I'm connecting that one. Mock and sight. So we've explored desire and we've explored like and mock. I'm going to say broken. Broken. Interrupted. My slumbers are interrupted. My slumber is broken. It's ruined. Broken. And maybe shadows. Okay, so I can see a clear image of shadows, like on the wall, my shadow over there that you can see from the light. But I'm thinking of something different. Shadows like to thee, just images of thee, hallucinations of thee, just pictures of thee. Shadows like to thee. Shadows like to thee. I don't know, just explore that for yourself. And then this third one, I won't explain it so much, I'll just do it. Sensed, send, throw, just like inject towards me. Sensed, that thou sendst from thee, just throw out, just send to me, sensed. Far from home, home, your body, your home, your body is your home. Far from your body, far from you, far from home, home. Okay, so that's just a couple of images I chose randomly from the first three couplets, and you can do the same with your own. Okay, so after you've done the image work on your sonnet and really work through the whole thing in your own time, the next thing that I recommend working on to help both with your performance and your memorization is to work on those little big words. So, of course, we did this on Friday's class on the 24th, but if you missed it or if you didn't feel like we spent enough time on it, here's what I like to do with it. So again, I have my handy notebook written out version of the sonnet here, and I'm going to, so of course I have, I have made all capital the operative words, and I just left the little big words smaller. All right. And of course you might see at the top, I've given myself just like cues of like, what things do I want to work on here? But so my next one is going to be these little big words. So I'm going to keep the structure of the sentences, the question marks, the commas, the pauses, the full stops, and some idea of what I'm saying in the back of my mind while I just use these little big words to keep the structure. So I'm going to try that with the last half of the sonnet. So again, I'm starting from "Oh no, thy love though much," if you care to follow along. So little big words to keep the structure and punctuation and just keep the meaning working, like subtext underneath it all. No, thy, though, is not so. It is my that mine, mine own that dost my, to thee for thy. For thee I, whilst thou dost, from me with all too.
See, it goes by very quickly if you take out all the operative images, but if you have them in the back of your mind, putting them in the context as subtext to what you're saying is very helpful. It keeps all of it together so that you don't just have operative word, little big words, operative word, little big words. You want the whole thing drawn together so that you can drive through to the end, get to the point, say what you mean to say. And it helps to keep the punctuation and the structure for that. So that's how you employ little big words. Next step will be couplets. Okay, so working by couplet, this one's probably a little bit easier to understand. You want to get the meaning back into the couplet and really just image what you're saying, which means imagine what it is you're talking about while you're saying. You're using all the words, you're using all the punctuation, and you're just making choices within a couplet about what's most important to you. What do you really want to get across? So I'll do a few of these myself by couplet, but I'm going to use a different sonnet because I don't want to give any kind of line reading to you all. I want these decisions to be yours. So I'm using, like I said before, I'm using Sonnet 65, if you care to look up the whole thing. But once again, I've written this out for myself. This one starts off, since brass nor stone nor earth nor boundless sea. Okay, so I'm going to use this for the couplet exercise. And just working on the meaning and possibly paraphrasing what it is I'm saying as I go along. So my first couplet, I'm only going to do a few. My first couplet is, since brass nor stone nor earth nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power. Okay, so I'm going to say, well, since brass or stone or earth or the limitless ocean are overruled by death, that's sad mortality. Their power is not enough for sad mortality. So I'm going to choose where I want to put the emphasis. Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power. So I happen to choose the images of brass and stone and the limitless sea. And I really leaned into sad mortality because that's what I really wanted to set up. That was just my choice. My second couplet goes, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower. Okay, so if I paraphrased it for myself, I would say, how can beauty stand up to death when beauty's strength is no more than a flower's? Beauty doesn't have much strength. It can't stand up to death. Is that possible? So then I will find out where I want to put the emphasis in these words. How with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? So random choices, but I'm finding images that really sing to me. And one more. I have, oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wrackful siege of battering days? So how can youth, summer's honey breath, the sweetness, how can sweet beauty resist the destructive force of time and war? How can it stand up to that? And I find my emphasis with my images. Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wrackful siege of battering days? I didn't like that one so much, but you explore, okay? So you find out where you want to put that emphasis and that imagery. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with the couplets. And of course, you can do the same thing with 2 lines at a time, those couplets. Use the paraphrase, either the paraphrasing that I provided for you, or come up with your own, which I actually think is better to do. Figure out how you would say it, and then find where you really want to put the emphasis. Paraphrase the line, figure out what you're focusing on, what do you want to say, and then when you put it back into the Shakespeare text, find the word that represents that, find the image that represents that, and put the emphasis there, okay? So that's working on the couplets. Okay, so finally, what I'm suggesting that you use to work on your sonnet for performance for the final is to then, once you've broken it down by operative image words, little big words, vowels, consonants, and then couplets and your own paraphrased meaning, then work on the whole piece. And I have a few suggestions for that, and I think they'll be familiar. Use everything that we've done this year. So perform your whole sonnet while focusing on your alignment and your breathing. Just that. Maybe follow that up by performing your sonnet just once or twice, but focus on your volume or your pitch range. Just explore those things. After that, you can perform once or more, just choosing a register to perform it in, or changing up your resonance so you can use the resonating ladder to go through it. And finally, you're going to bring yourself back to what we've worked on most recently, which is performing the sonnet from a place of expression. So choose a place to start. Find a posture, a breathing pattern, a facial expression that feels right for you for the beginning of the sonnet. You don't have to hold yourself to it the whole time, but see what happens when you start off in that really clear, expressive moment from the face and from the breathing and from the posture. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate that for you with, again, not Sonnet 61. I'm gonna use Sonnet 65. And so I'm gonna try not just alignment or voice or pitch or any of those sorts of things that we've done before, but I'm going to focus on what we've most recently done with it, which is expression. So I'm going to choose an expression first at random, and then I'm going to switch it up halfway through and do what feels right. So I'm going to say that for this sonnet, Sonnet 65, I'm going to start off with, it would be very weird if I did happiness. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to switch partway through to more a sense of fear. So I'll take on the fear partway through. So exploring like you've done before with expression. First, I'm going to use happiness. I'm going to take on the face of happiness. I'm going to find that great big smile, really genuine, that goes up to the corners. I'm going to find that little bit of squint in the eyes that just says like, hey, hi. Yeah, I'm really happy. And then I'm going to breathe through this. Nice and full through the nose. Not fast, just nice and slow. I feel contented in this space, right? And then I find the voice, I find some expression in this smile. And I just take that from there, and maybe I let it affect my whole posture. Just feels open, and it just feels right. I just have a smile on my face, and I just feel really good. So I'm going to start off my sonnet that way. Since brass nor stone nor earth nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wrackful siege of battering days? And I'm going to change it up to fear. So I'm going to take on the face of fear, which draws into the center. I'm going to lift up the eyebrows. I'm going to make sure the mouth is dropped open, but brought into the center like, oh no, oh, I'm taking in everything with my eyes, everything with my nose as I flare my nostrils, and a quick intake of breath. And I don't want my breath to be heard. When rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays. Oh, fearful meditation, where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's chest lie hid? Or what strong hand can hold his swift foot back, or who his spoil of beauty can forbid? Oh, none, unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright. Okay, so that was a lot. That was extra, as they say, but I'm just trying it with expression. And after I'm done with that, maybe I'll try it with the expression that seems most appropriate, just to start, and then let that go, all right? Just put myself in the place that this sonnet makes me think of, the impression that this sonnet gives me, the emotion that it most feels like, and then just start from there and see how that goes. Finally, and I'm not going to demonstrate this for you because this is really up to you. Once you've really got it memorized, once you've really explored all of those popped plosives and buzzy fricatives and nice open, long, extended vowels and continuants, and found all the images that mean something to you and have expressed them clearly in the line, and tried on some expression or tried it out with breathing or with pitch changes or resonance, lots of options there to practice this sonnet. Once you've got it fully memorized, then it's time to focus on intention. And we've only talked about that a little bit, and that's really something more for your acting classes. But I'll say, what do you want to do? And what do you need to say? Think about that. With this sonnet, your own take on it, your own personal take on it. And that's the way I'll ask you to perform it, just to perform it fully, memorized, clearly spoken, and fully imagined with some intention. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you've worked along with me through the warm-up and through the sonnet exercises. You've tried out each of these exercises on your own and done them fully because I worked through them very quickly today. But work on this before Friday, and I will see you in our Friday live meeting. And we'll perform some of these and see how we're doing. So really get this memorized. Really try these exercises out. I look forward to seeing you on Friday, everybody.